Few people are famous enough to be called by their first name, and Michelangelo is one of them. Michelangelo lived an extremely busy life, and he created a great number of artworks. Some of Michelangelo's works are among the most famous that have ever been made. He led a solitary life and is often described as hot-tempered and difficult artist to work with, and he's known for his critical, volatile moods. In fact, when he was 17, he was hit on the nose by a fellow artist in an argument. His nose was severely broken, as can be seen in the portraits we have of Michelangelo. During his lifetime, Michelangelo had intense rivals, and he was fiercely competitive with other Renaissance masters such as Leonardo da Vinci and Raphael. Michelangelo is famous for his great sculptures. He made his first great sculpture when he was only 24 years old. It's called the Pietà, and it shows Virgin Mary holding the dead body of her son, Jesus Christ, on her lap. It is the only piece of art that Michelangelo signed. The legend goes that shortly after the installation of his Pietà, Michelangelo overheard someone say that it was a work of a different sculptor. Michelangelo was so jealous when someone else got credit for his fantastic sculpture, so he carved Michelangelo Buonarroti, Florentine, made this across Mary's chest. Later, he regretted his outburst of pride, and he never signed anything else ever again. The world-famous Pietà has not only won substantial admiration, but has also sustained dramatic damage. In May 1972, a man walked into the chapel and attacked the sculpture with his hammer. The result of his 15 hits to the sculpture was a disfigured Mary. Her arm was broken and a chunk of her nose also fell off. And after being restored, the statue was moved behind a glass at right at the entrance to St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican, Italy. The works of Michelangelo attract more than 5 million visitors each year to the Vatican. The next sculpture we're going to talk about is the biblical hero David. Once again, Michelangelo made a statue that became world famous. The statue shows a young man naked in the way that statues of ancient gods were made. The statue is 17 feet tall, and at the time was the largest statue made since ancient Rome. It is considered by many experts to be a near-perfect sculpture. People still go great distances to see the statue that Michelangelo made. One of the greatest works of Renaissance was created for the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican, which was home to the Pope, the leader of the Catholic Church. In 1508, Pope Julius II ordered Michelangelo to paint the huge ceiling in his palace with scenes from the Bible. Michelangelo did not want to. He said that he was not a painter, he was a sculptor. But the Pope insisted until Michelangelo agreed to do it. He told the Pope that he would only do it if the Pope let him paint it in his own way. It took Michelangelo 4 years to complete this masterpiece, lying on his back on a scaffold, which is a raised wooden platform. The ceiling is 66 feet in height. He painted more than 300 figures, and not 2 of them look alike. He placed the story of the creation of man at the center, with a famous image of God stretching out his hand to give Adam life. 30 years after finishing the ceiling, Michelangelo began painting the wall behind the altar. It took 9 years to complete. This mural is called The Last Judgment, and it shows the second coming of Christ. Michelangelo was considered to be the greatest living artist in his lifetime, and ever since then he has remained to be one of the greatest artists of all time.